brought that noise. And the fact that she could knock down the NBA three-pointer, especially back then.
The hottest topic circulating in the WNBA as of the present time suggests the meteoric rise of Caitlin Clark, and now she's not only setting records, but also ruffling some views among the more seasoned players. As Clark does her rookie campaign in WNBA, she manages to inspire, of course, plenty of envy among old-timers. However, this is not just a case of one player, this is a case of a generation conflict that is likely to change the perception of the entire basketball environment. Without further ado, let's begin. Caitlin Clark goes above and beyond the rookie status. In no time, Clark has already registered more than 60 individual WNBA records. This figure is unimaginable in the history of the WNBA league. From scoring and assists to three-pointers, Clark's name is found on the offensively steep record sheets, and there are more supports for that. But I think what makes her unique is not the records, but record-breaking is only the beginning. With the current path of her achievements, she is raising the bar of the status quo preconceived from the rookies, compelling the league to rethink the word potential. Clark challenges the status quo in the WNBA, but as Caitlin breaks more records, it is evident that she is doing more than just making sports history. She is paving the way for the scope of greatness that will be sought after by a new wave of players, and it will be well above the court. But there are always only hurdles to overcome, such as jealousy.
Just for Caitlin, but you asked me about Caitlin. If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that that player set it. Yeah, that'll go in the record books as Caitlin Clark is the all-time, whatever it is. I don't even know what the number is, but that's the way it'll be. And I don't think it should be. Caitlin Clark right now probably takes about 40 shots a game. I know you like that.
Hell yeah.
And some cynics from older people from which she has gained her success. It is becoming more challenging to achieve success, especially in Caitlin Clark's eagerly entering the WNBA. As it was at the start of the WCCFL, recently retired staff, Sheryl Swoopes, one of the most well-known figures, has openly expressed doubts as to whether Clark should be regarded in such lofty terms. But Swoopes' doubts are not simply a crisis of confidence as far as Clark is concerned. Rather, it is a resistance to the kind of changes rumbling across the league. For veterans like Swoopes, there is always a struggle to accommodate the new direction, especially with a new sensation debuting like Clark, who threatens to overshadow all the hard work put so many years establishing a certain status. Swoopes' remarks have laid a contentious path wherein both the fans and players have taken up sides. Some think that obviously Swoopes is worried about something, which is the league needs to be careful about how quickly they tend to promote a rookie. Other people interpret it as an envy, as his response to advancing ages. However, whatever the reasons that Swoopes has, one thing is inescapable. Caitlin Clark is causing an upheaval of the established order in the league. This strife between the veterans and meshing talent has intensified the generational gap in WNBA, where the likes of Swoopes have led the league in its upsurges. They are now consumed by a new wave that allows heretical acts of breaking their records they worked hard to cement. For Swoopes and other like-minded people, the arrival of a player like Clark is a bit bittersweet. On one hand, they feel all that they have done in the game is coming to pass as a new generation takes over. On the other hand, the change is occurring, and perhaps too fast for them. Swoopes' scrutiny concerning Clark also emphasizes another phenomenon about the league, the review of past legacies in search for new legacies. As the league continues to gain new stars such as Clark, there will be a need for the WNBA management to adeptly balance respecting the old ways, including how veteran players are appreciated, with the introduction of the young guns that are essential to the growth of the league. Caught in the turmoil that Sheryl Swoopes has caused, another former WNBA star, Cynthia Cooper, has joined the fray against Caitlin Clark. There is a supportive streak in Cooper that makes her stand by Clark that is not only expressions of admiration and support. Instead of tearing down the rising stars, Cooper believes that veterans should be guiding them, if not, the development of the league will be stunted. Cooper's comments also prove the generational difference between the veterans like her and those who may possibly feel inconvenienced by the change. Cooper says that Clark's success is worthy of pride from every angle and not something to be feared. She understands that for the WNBA to grow, it must be able to develop new superstars, and that the league cannot rest on the success that it has currently achieved. Through supporting athletes such as Clark, the veterans can help this evolution, transferring their knowledge and experience to the younger generation of athletes. This message of seeking help is directed towards everyone in the league, even in the WNBA. With regard to Cooper's cooperation with Clark, one lesson is for other veterans. There is no need to regard a new generation of stars as a threat. Instead, one has to look for ways how else one can extend the glory of the league effectively. By taking a responsible role in the construction of future players, older players must recognize that their influence will be greater than their active career. Cooper's defense of Clark is also popular among the fans, many of whom are impressed with the idea of young people working with the older leaders of the team. It also stresses the aspect of the Women's National Basketball Association as more than just competition, but a shared purpose of growing the game of women's basketball. Even as Clark continues to etch her name on the league, the likes of Cynthia Cooper and other legends will be crucial in making sure that she and the WNBA can achieve her maximum potential. The recent saga with Caitlin Clark and Sheryl Swoopes also reveals another hidden tension within the WNBA, the generational divide between old heads and new blood. This is not merely about individual players, it is about the league and the orientation that it will take here forward. There are the old elks, the so-called veterans, players who have spent their entire career building the WNBA to what we know today. There are those young and talented and entrepreneurial players like Clark and others who have just joined the league and are willing to change the game as it is known. Challenging an opponent is more than mere competition. It gives one enough reason to wonder what might have instigated such a struggle, and only the growth of any sport can explain such changing agile patterns emerging. The older generation are getting used to breaking their records, as well as seeing less influence, and for the younger generation, zeal to conquer and bring a new age contributes to the transition. When it comes to the WNBA, this generation gap brings benefits but also problems. The league has to respect its legacy, while at the same time are looking forward so that the efforts of the old players and the new ones do not go unnoticed. For players like Clark, this dramatic confrontation is a sword with two blades. They are abolishing boundaries and rousing congratulatory remarks for their exploits. That's one side. They are being abused and raising eyebrows from those who feel that the league is advancing in too fast a pace. The solution in managing this turmoil is looking for middle ground. Unfortunately, that means veterans and the rookies are pitched against each other instead of supporting each other. But the way to catapult oneself to the forefront of the league is not driven by fame alone. There is authority in it as well. Apart from her commendable performances on the court, Clark is a well-respected figure in the eyes of children and represents women's athletics. As she does so, she has the capacity to lead a whole new batch of competitors and help expand the game into fresh territory and help raise the level of the WNBA. It is no longer a fight that Caitlin Clark only wins. It is a battle that the whole league in the WNBA wins. Thank you for watching our program. As usual, do not forget to like, drop a comment, and subscribe for more content.
It's so incredibly important. We have to bridge that gap between what's going on today and what we experience, and it will help the younger generation to know our experiences so that they don't make the same mistakes and we continue to